What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tony DeLaramie. Thanks for tuning in to a brand new episode of Brother Please Hear Me Out. I'm going to make sure to state this more often at the beginning of each episode, and that's this. The conversations that I have on this show, Brother Please Hear Me Out, are significantly more important than the political conversations that I have on my other videos. So make sure you share these videos that we have here on Brother Please Hear Me Out as frequently as you do the political videos, because this is significantly much more important. Conversations revolving around tech and the fourth industrial revolution are conversations that Black Americans are always late to the party to. We cannot afford to continue to be late to the party when it comes to this kind of information. So please make sure you share this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button, follow me on Twitter, and for those of you who have been subscribed and following me for quite some time now, show some love on the Patreon. It's only $5 a month, and what that does is that it helps put me in position that I can take tdhiphop media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. Now let's get into the conversation at hand. And what I wanted to talk about today is the fact that the United States does not need your labor force anymore. Black Americans are obsolete at this point. If we're still thinking that hard labor is going to get the job done and is going to put food on the table for us. I've been speaking on this for quite some time now. If you've been subscribed to this channel for a long time now and you've been listening to Brother Please Hear Me Out from day one, you know that one of my catchphrases is what? The world is going to radically change between 2020 and 2030. Whether that changes for better or worse depends on you and not somebody else. I've been preaching that religiously since about maybe October or November of last year. I stressed the fact that a recession was on the way and that when the recession hits, it's going to vastly accelerate artificial intelligence and automation at the workplace, displacing you. Well, here we are. We're here. We're at that moment in time. There was no way for me to be able to predict that a global pandemic would be the cause of why we're here at this moment. But here we are nonetheless. Back in December of last year, I made a video titled that Black Americans will be washed up by 2030 because we will be officially replaced by artificial intelligence and automation. We are here already. Forget about 2030. We're here. Back in February of this year, I made a video called Black Americans Must Skill Up by 2023. Forget about getting your tech skills up to par by 2023. You need to have your tech skills up to par by the end of this year. It's game time now. Practice is over. And on today's show, I want to play a couple of videos for you today because I can show you better than I can tell you as far as it pertains to you being replaced by artificial intelligence and automation. I can show you better than I can tell you. But before I get into these videos, I do want to read a few paragraphs from an article off theguardian.com. This article is titled, Bosses Speed Up Automation as Virus Keeps Workers Home. Now let's get into that article. Almost half of company bosses in 45 countries are speeding up plans to automate their businesses as workers are forced to stay at home during the coronavirus outbreak. Some 41% of respondents in a survey by the auditing firm EY said they were investing in accelerating automation as businesses prepared for a post-crisis world. The news comes just days after figures showing that 3.3 million people have filed for unemployment in the U.S. That is by far the highest number ever recorded and a jump from less than 300,000 the week before. In the UK, 477,000 people applied for universal credit in just 9 days. The human cost of the most tragic aspect of this crisis, not only in terms of the lives lost, but also the number of livelihoods at risk, said Steve Kruskos at EY. Now I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to read the entire article, but I will leave the link in the description for you below, and I strongly suggest that you read this article in its entirety. Understand everything that I've been talking about since October and November. We are here now. It's time to get your tech skills up to par by the end of this year. Now let me show you a few things because like I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. Now this first video I'm going to show you is coming out of Los Angeles, and I believe it's a port in Long Beach where you're seeing trucks load and unload themselves and then drive themselves to the destination they need to go to and then continue to load and unload themselves. There isn't a person in sight on this video. Understand, the US does not need you anymore.
Oh, these are the automated ones.
Our Stu Mundell over the Port of Los Angeles, seeing something unfold many folks probably didn't know about. The port is going automated. Artificial intelligence and digital technology are moving and powering commerce here. Containers are lowered onto trailers, and within seconds those trucks drive off. They know where to turn, where to drive, and where to drop off their cargo. They even yield to each other when one crosses in front of the other, and there are no humans in sight.
The old supply chain, so to speak, is no longer in place.
Professor Nick Vyas is the executive director with the Center for Global Supply Chain Management at USC. As futuristic as this may look, Professor Vyas says we're way behind other countries.
That's just a small subset of what the automation being adopted in the rest of the world.
Professor Vyas is referring to ports like this one, Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Europe's busiest port, and it's also one of the world's most technologically advanced. Rotterdam officials say they've created a platform that will allow autonomous shipping using sensors placed on quay walls, waterways, and even dolphins. As exciting as the technology is, the evolution of it also has the potential of being very painful. Mark Mendoza is the president of ILWU Local 13. He represents more than 8,000 longshoremen who work at the LA and Long Beach ports. Mendoza says automation could mean the end of hundreds or even thousands of jobs.
We go to fully automated, it goes down, you say the membership of 8,000, all these temporary casuals, we can go down to 800. These aren't $10 an hour jobs. These are jobs where it only takes one income to take care of your whole family.
Mendoza says he wants to work with the companies using automation at the port to make sure his workers get the tech jobs associated with running, maintaining, and fixing the automated systems. And Mendoza knows the automation is part of the present and the future.
Back in the day, getting a job at the port was considered a good job, 20-something, 30-something dollars an hour. You can forget about all that now. It's over. Automation is here. Now, this next video that I want to show you is kind of the behind the scenes of how the FedEx warehouse works. And I want to show you how it currently works, functions, and operates versus how it will be functioning and operating within the next couple of years.
Morning, morning, morning. Here we go.
Whether in boxes, bags, or simply laying bare, everything on this belt has somewhere to be after traveling from all over the world.
They've been on trucks and on planes, they've been stacked, they've been packed. Now it's up to us to get them to where they need to go.
John Santos gets up especially early to do that. This courier shift starts before 5 a.m. at the ship center for FedEx Express.
Now, this video that I'm going to play for you right here is how things will be operating here in the U.S., but are currently operating in China. This is a FedEx type company in China, and this is their warehouse versus our warehouse. Look at the way in which you had all of those automated machines, literally hundreds of them, none of them running into each other, crashing, dropping packages. They're all getting the packages and dropping them off exactly where they need to go so they can be shipped out. Understand, we're going to have to make up our minds on whether or not we are going to be the developers of the new society or if we're just going to be the consumers. Are we developers or consumers? Are we driving the new technology forward, or are we simply playing around on our phones, swiping on the screen? That is the decision that we're going to have to make right now. Now, this next video I'm going to play for you describes and breaks down the Amazon Go store that they have in Seattle right now. It's only a matter of time until they go nationwide. But in this store, you literally just walk into the store, grab what you need, and leave, because the moment you step into the store, you're hooked up to their network in which they're able to identify you. There are high-tech cameras all over the store monitoring everywhere you go and every item you pick up and put back down. It's pretty much flawless. So there is no stealing in this store. You can't do that. And the reason that I'm pointing this out is because in my last episode of Brother Please Hear Me Out, there was a brother that I was conversating with, and we were just having a nice little back and forth, and he was saying that security guard jobs will not be replaced anytime soon. There's going to always need, at least within the next couple years or so, a necessity for security guards and security officers. That is not true. That is not the case. With what you're going to see here at this Amazon Go store, by the time this store and stores like it goes nationwide, there'll be no serious need for security guards. The necessity for security guards is going to go down to virtually zero because, like I said, the moment you step into the store, into these facilities, you're being monitored and tracked, and you've been identified. Now, I want to make sure to highlight what was stated at the end of this video just now, and I'm going to read it off for you. Amazon won't say how they do it, but note, the cameras are pretty much 100% accurate. You're not taking anything. You are fully identifiable the moment you walk into that store. This is the future, and the future is now. This is going to be virtually every facility that you walk into in the very near future. Understand, there's been a lot of people running around here talking about how we're all going to get chipped so that we can be monitored at all time. You don't have to be chipped in order to be monitored and tracked. That cell phone in your pocket is tracking everywhere that you go. And this isn't any conspiracy theory stuff that I'm talking right here. It's only a matter of time because it's simply a matter of fact. That whether it's your ID card, your driver's license, all that stuff, if it isn't already, is going to be chipped to where they know where you are in whatever facility that you walk into automatically. As soon as you step in, you've been linked into the network and they know who you are. There's no stealing anything. It's only a matter of time, even when it comes to cell phones, that like right now, right? Let's take cell phones. Right now, I can go and get a family plan at T-Mobile, and I'll get 3 phones, and I'll give those 2 extra phones to, let's just say, my wife and my son. In the very near future, and I don't have anything that solidifies this as being true, but for me, it's just a matter of fact. It's only a matter of time until when you want to go get a phone for you, your son, and your wife, each phone is going to have to be registered in the name of the individual that will have that phone. That's the only way this advanced society that we're moving into is going to work. So therefore, it doesn't matter where you go. You will be monitored, you will be tracked, and you will be fully identified. Everything on your person, whether it's a phone or your ID, no matter what it is going to be chipped. It doesn't have to be you. It's the items that you carry on you on a daily basis that you can't live without. They're all chipped. You're trackable. So there is no stealing. You're not going anywhere with anything in this store. You got to understand the loss of privacy is the only way that this kind of technological society can exist and flourish. And it's going to happen, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. It's just time for you to make up your mind on what's going to be your position in this new world. Once again, are we going to be the developers and the drivers of the technology, or are we simply going to be the consumers on the low end of the totem pole? That depends on you and not somebody else.